Well, the biggest thing they do different than a lot of people is that they will take the quote, kind of that stand-up DN that's normally the fourth rusher, and instead of rushing from the outside, all of a sudden he's playing in the linebacker position, and you anticipate he's probably the extra guy to rush, but then all of a sudden they'll rush the outside linebacker off the edge, and you know, he only it only has to happen one or two times, and a big impact play can happen, obviously, in the wrong side of it for us. So,
what's it like every week to try to scheme ways to get Deuce the ball when you know that's what the defense is trying to take?
yeah, well, the you know, and we've said this from the very start. The best part about Deuce is he really understands the offense, not just from a running back standpoint, but from a receiver standpoint and schematically. So our ability to slide him out and put him in some of the no back or empty set stuff, and him to feel comfortable to running routes has been great for us. So it helps us. And then he's good at running the fly sweep stuff as well, so we can put him out there and hand it to him, but then also use him, quote, as a decoy and give the ability to get somebody else open off play action.
How good has Skyler been on third down?
I thought, not just on third down, but in general, since he's been back, he's been extremely accurate, and not just on finding the tailback and getting it dumped off, but with the exception of two or three balls, for the most part, doesn't matter if he's thrown to the tight end on a corner route or if he's thrown to a wide receiver on an in-breaking route like he threw to Cade. He's been very accurate with the football, and third downs. For anybody to be successful, you got to have success on third downs, and he's done a really nice job distributing the ball and being accurate with it.
We saw some different offensive line formations, personnel groupings last week. Why did those work?
Well, we're going to keep trying to get where we can play 7 O-linemen, 8 O-linemen. Logan Long's continued to get better. Hadley has continued to play more and more, even though he's young as a freshman. KT got a little bit of playing time. Expect him hopefully to get a little bit more. The more we can play, the better it makes a Revis, a BB. The better it makes Duffy when the fourth quarter comes, rather than them having to play the entire game.
How much improvement have you seen in that offensive line from week one?
Oh, well, now, knock on wood, because this team really can rush the passer. But, if you look at us from week 1 through week 4, from a protection standpoint, through the last 4 or 5 weeks, I think they've really started to do a good job communicating, passing things off, being on the same page. And part of that comes from getting more and more reps and having, for the most part, the same group of guys play, allows them to continue to play more as a true unit.
For the last month, you guys probably thrown it as well as you've had since you've been here in Manhattan. Is that kind of what you almost needed for ammunition on the recruiting trail?
Oh, I think every opportunity you have to show that you'll use the skill sets of the guys that you have allows you to recruit better. We've got now the opportunity to be able to say, hey, we'll throw the ball down the field to you. Well, I'm a tight end. Yeah, we'll throw the ball down the field to you. Well, I'm a wide receiver. Some of them get completed, some of them don't, but you got tape now of a Keenan Garber having a big play early in the season, an opportunity this past week that unfortunately we didn't hit on, where he's rolling down the field on a post. And then you see some guys, getting screens thrown to them and them going to get 11, 12, 14 yards. And when you can put some of that stuff on tape so that when you are recruiting those young men, you can say, no, you fit this skill set. And that's what we're really trying to do.
The pitch play out of the I formation you guys ran a lot against KU. Was that something you pulled out just for that game, or is that something
we've had it. It just goes back to the same thing. When is it the right fit? We've been practicing that since fall camp, but this week we felt like it fit what they did and felt comfortable getting it called.
Just in general, what makes West Virginia, or what has made West Virginia a tough matchup?
Well, when you go back and watch last year's tape, you feel like had some missed opportunities that didn't allow us to keep moving the chains. The thing that they've done a really good job, I feel like, they've been very, very good in the red zone. And when we get opportunity to get driving down there, 30, 35-yard line driving down, we need to keep on making plays. And you're not going to do it all the time, but you need to push the ball into the end zone for touchdowns and not kick field goals. He should be good to go. We limited him obviously a little bit last week. Still, he made a couple big plays, I felt like, on the punt return stuff. So he showed he could run, and I feel like he's a guy now that I shouldn't need to worry a lot about when it comes to where he's at health-wise.
What do you think is the next step for Deuce Vaughn?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, just continue with the mindset of I can improve every single day, and that's kind of the mindset he goes about practice with. I would love to say that, he's going to do this more, do that more, but right now we try to use him as much as we can without wearing him out. So it's hard to have an exact what's the next thing for him.
What is expanded more, Skyler's knowledge of the offense or Skyler's knowledge of how defenses play against you guys?
I would say the latter. I think he is really, really locked in right now to how people are trying to defend us as an offense and understanding schematically what defenses are trying to do. Part of that is the time that he spends with Coach Klein, but the second part is he's going to try every week to get with Coach Kleiman from a defensive mindset of what are people doing to us. And that, I believe that's probably helped him the most as far as really understanding defensive football.
We saw a little bit of Will Howard at the end of the game against Kansas. Just how important was it to get him in there? And give him
Well,
action?
I was obviously very, very thankful that he had an opportunity to get in there and still throw the football around a little bit. And we were going to throw the ball. We're not going to say, hey, get in here, Will, and run the clock out, because he's played enough football that's not doing him any good. He needed to get in and try to throw the ball around a little bit, and I felt like he did a good job. I wish he would have had a full quarter to get a few more opportunities. Obviously, unfortunately, we had 2 penalties in that series that took away a little bit from our ability to say, okay, good, now it's 1st and 10 again. Let's throw some quick game, or let's throw some play action. I thought he did a nice job running the football as well. The one scramble that got called back for a hold, to me, he was now into a quarterback mode where it was go get the number of yards you can get and then be smart. And that's really what we want our quarterbacks to be in that setting is, go get a big first down, get as many yards you can, and get down. If we're in the red zone or it's 3rd downs, now you got to get hit. But I loved what he did.